Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, we are once again going over the two severe thunderstorm risk areas that will be bringing a tornado threat and severe wind threat across the Midwest and the South. This is the Storm Prediction Center's severe thunderstorm outlook for day 3, which is Saturday. As you can see, we have a slight risk for severe storms, a level 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale in the yellow. This is where you will see elevated areas of severe thunderstorms. Also in the dark green, where you have a marginal risk for severe storms, a level 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So for Saturday, this is going to be your area of severe weather or severe storms, and this is mainly going to be throughout the afternoon hours. So we're going to look at the models here in a minute, but let's look at the severe risk area for Sunday. We still have that 15% risk in place for severe weather across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, and Kentucky for Sunday. Still not a lot of details on this, but again, 15% chance for severe weather in that area for Sunday. Let's take a look at our GFS future radar model, and this is the 18Z run. So this is just coming out as I'm making this, and this is gonna be the morning hours of Saturday, March 5th. As you can see, this is 9 a.m. right now. We're looking at 9 a.m. We are seeing some scattered showers around this region of Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska. And now as we move forward into the early afternoon hours, so this is going to be around 1 p.m. here. As you can see, we have a line of thunderstorms developing here across portions of Iowa and Missouri. We head into around more of 3 p.m. and you can definitely see those thunderstorms. I think those will be clustered, especially on more north, but possibly some severe cells, supercells maybe down there more south of the system. And you can see these arrows. You can see a bunch of these arrows, and these are the wind, and this is the wind direction at every single point of this arrow. So as you can see, we have a bunch of these arrows in Kansas heading northeast, and it's kind of curving, as you can see, and it's kind of going into a counterclockwise rotation, and that's pretty much going in a counterclockwise rotation, which means, as you can see, we have a low pressure system, and you can see a couple of these arrows here that are kind of combining, and they look a little weird over here. This means that the low pressure system is going to be right here. This is how we tell where the low pressure system is going to be when we predict these storms. And as you can see, again, those arrows, those very clustered arrows right here, which is meaning that low pressure is going to be right here. That cold front is going to be dropping down right here, really triggering those storms off of those dew points, and we have dew points around 56 degrees. So there's definitely going to be a lot of there's going to be a decent amount of moisture for that to kick off. And then once that cold front pulls through, it's going to bring a bunch of dry air into the region to dry out all of that moisture that just dropped from the storm. So I hope that does make a little sense of these low pressure systems. Now let's move forward here into the evening hours. This is going to be 6 p.m. and it looks like these are going to be exiting the region. Possibly some thunderstorms here in Wisconsin and Illinois. Not much in southern Missouri by then. And this is not a super high resolution yet, because this is still around 2 days out. In next video, this will be much more higher resolution. We'll get much more details. Still a little bit a tad bit far out, as it's still day 3, so that's why I'm using the GFS model. Now, the GFS model, like I said, it was less high resolution, but I just found out this NamNest model has a very high resolution and very similar to the HRRR model, and it goes much more far out than the HRRR model. Usually tomorrow, the day before, that's when we get a hold of those HRRR models. But as you can see, the arrows are really much more detailed in the NamNest, and you can see a lot more arrows pointing to where this low pressure system is. Here's the low pressure right here, so there's that L right there. Let's go ahead and move forward as this low pressure moves northeast, and this low pressure is now about right here. So right there is about where the low pressure system is. We get that cold front dropping down here. Cold front dropping down here, that blue line. We're seeing a warm front lifting north, and as you can see, you can even see that warm front right over here, and those storms popping up of that warm front because it's bringing a lot of that moisture up north. This is going to be 3 p.m. of March 5th on Saturday. As you can see, we're seeing those strong storms really developing there in Nebraska, and you get more of those storms developing here in more of southern Iowa, near the Kansas City area, by around 7 to 8 p.m. ish. So this is much later than usual, but as you can see, we see most of those storms diminish off around that time. These other storms are developing here, and as you can see, still those cells in more central and southern Iowa, but those should be diminishing off as you head throughout the evening hours. We're heading even forward, and this is looking like a very well-defined squall line in northern to southwestern Missouri, and that could be a very nice type of squall line to storm chase, as it's not looking too intimidating. But it could also have some strong winds in that type of line. So as you can see those arrows. You can see these arrows going northeast ahead of this line. You could also see a bunch of these arrows that are heading in the direction where the squall line is headed, and this is what you call, at this point, as you can see, a low pressure system is all the way up here at this point, and it's not over here anymore. So what that means is this low pressure is right here, like I said, and this means this cold front is right up here. So the squall line is just on the cold front. It's sitting on the cold front because you can see how many arrows are pointing this direction. It's heading in that cold front. All of these other arrows ahead of the squall line is heading north. So this is just the cold front here that's kicking off these storms. It has enough moisture and enough energy for that cold front to just sit on top of that squall line and just briefly have enough energy and moisture to keep that going for a couple hours or so until it really starts to diminish, likely by 12 a.m. We don't have a bunch of details yet on Sunday, but I can tell you here, this is the future radar for 6 p.m. of Sunday, and as you can see, we have some possible storms popping up by 6 p.m., but let's head forward to around 9 p.m., and as you can see, we're seeing mainly clustered storms, rain showers, really not that much, but just mainly clustered rain showers and thunderstorms, heading forward into around 12 a.m. Monday. As you can see, it's mainly clustered here for Sunday. There's really not much details on Sunday yet, but we're mainly looking at Saturday severe weather. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video, how much more details on Sunday's severe weather threat. But today we're just going to focus on Saturdays. Let's take a look at the convective available potential energy within the atmosphere. This is pretty much thunderstorm juice we're going to be looking at here. So we saw this a couple of days ago when we were first looking at this, and Cape values were overall not that high, but we were reaching maximum 500 joules per kilogram via the GFS model. But we're going to move forward here, and as you can see, we get a lot of Cape values already around 1 p.m. or so. We're getting upwards of around 1,300 joules per kilogram. So a very nice amount of Cape for these storms, especially in March. And as you can see, especially in this area, this is a very nice amount of Cape for these types of storms that's going to be really firing up in these areas in southeastern Nebraska, southwestern Iowa as well. It's going to be a really nice amount of energy for those storms. It's going to be a few discrete supercells that are going to be first firing in southeastern Nebraska. It's going to have that main tornado potential in more of these areas because these storms are going to fire right up here. It's going to hit that cold front. This cold front is right here, right against these. So it's going to fire those storms. These storms are going to skyrocket to the northeast and southeast Iowa. It's going to potentially drop off a couple tornado potentials in those areas. So if you live in southeastern Iowa, be alert on Saturday. That's where my kind of tornado hotspot area is going to be. Also in southeastern Nebraska, that tornado potential is going to be high for those areas. Let's go to Supercell Composite, which is kind of the risk, which is kind of the probability for supercells developing. As you can see, that low pressure is right up here, right up here. And as you can see, we have some yellows, but no oranges. As we head forward, though, let's head forward. We have oranges down here. This is not where any storms are going to fire, and this is typically what happens when we have cap in the region. Is we get these Supercell Composites, and everyone goes crazy over these because they see these colors, but no storms are actually going to fire over here. And again, we have the cap. But if we usually take a sounding over here, we might have cap in the region, or we might not. If cap is really effective to thunderstorms to really just kill them, you just really kill the ingredients within the atmosphere. The ingredients are there. It's not really killing the ingredients, but it's really, cap is just really killing the possibility for thunderstorms to fire. But sometimes you get enough cape in the atmosphere and these storms skyrocket so high is it actually breaks the cap, and that's what happens in major severe weather events. It breaks the cap, or in the early morning hours there might be a bunch of cloud cover, and that cloud cover moves out. That sun then really regenerates that energy, and it gets those storms firing for the rest of the day. So as you can see, we have a definite supercell potential over here in southeastern Nebraska, southwestern Iowa, but not a supercell potential over here because we have that cap in place, like I said, and we're mainly going to see a squall line over here against right across that cold front. So there's overall not going to be a big tornado threat in Missouri, but mainly in this small area in southwestern Iowa and southeastern Nebraska. We're going to have a lot more of this tomorrow, but this is new to the Hot Weather website. This is College of Dew page, and as you can see, we're looking at the hodograph map on the RAP model. So usually when you take a sounding, you'd have two areas. You'd have the skew T and you'd have the hodograph. The skew T is on the left, and if you've watched before in these severe weather events, I take some soundings, and on the left you'd see the skew T if you watched my videos before, and on the right you'd see the hodograph. This is the hodograph we're looking at, and in these areas is where kind of highlighted in these light reds. This is meaning that we do have a tornado potential. In more of these darker reds, as you can see, some possible darker shades as I can see here, which is meaning that bigger tornado potential, and we can see these tornado photographs across the region by not even taking a sounding. We can just play it, and we don't have a lot right now, but we definitely do have some data in place, and it's definitely looking quite favorable over here in especially southeastern Nebraska, and southwestern Iowa is going to have that big tornado potential for Saturday. If you did enjoy the video, this video was much longer because it was going a little more in depth. So if you did like the video, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you are new, and turn on post notifications so you won't miss a single upload or live stream. Also, make sure to share this video with any friends or family that may want the latest updates on this tornado potential in the Midwest and the South. But as always, stay safe.